Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tom.
Hey, it's day 2 of our history unit. We're focusing on a really amazing natural being, you could call it, and that's the seashell that covers the different animals, the soft-bodied mollusks that people often love to eat, like clams and oysters, conchs. We learned about conchs at the end of day 1, which is a really big spiral-shaped horn shell. They're quite big, and if you want to get the snail out of it, you've got to have a pretty big hard instrument like a hammer or something that can break down the shell, and then they cook and eat them. I'm not a big fan of seafood generally. I know I'm in the wrong place because Taiwan's surrounded by water, and we eat a lot of seafood here, but these are a particular type of seafood that a lot of people enjoy around the world.
Right, so let's find out more about shells in today's program. Let's listen to our lesson now read from top to bottom. Seashells continue to be popular in fashion and technology. Certain types of seashells are particularly prized for their beauty and unique features. Cowrie shells, with their smooth, shiny surfaces and natural curves, are often made into necklaces and bracelets. Additionally, mother of pearl, the colorful inner layer of certain mollusk shells, is widely used in jewelry and luxury items. Because of its beauty and strength, it can be carved into various forms and sizes. Abalone shells are also sought after for decorative purposes thanks to their beautiful mix of blue, green, and purple colors. Discarded seashells have also found new life through eco-friendly innovations. Sea wool is a fabric made from crushed oyster shells and recycled plastic bottles. It offers a soft and breathable alternative to traditional textiles, making it ideal for clothing. Another creative invention from Japan is the shellmet, a durable helmet made from scallop shells and recycled plastic. It provides fishing workers with protection while addressing waste problems caused by the local seafood industry. These innovations reuse tons of waste from seafood processing and turn them into sustainable solutions. Seashells represent both natural beauty and cultural heritage for humanity. As we continue to explore the potential of seashells, it's essential to strike a balance between use and preservation. Collecting empty seashells from beaches might seem harmless. However, excessive harvesting and environmental pollution pose serious threats to their ecosystems. Therefore, we must take action to protect these marine creatures to ensure the sustainable use of seashell resources.
Okay, guys, let's dive in. Beyond the beach, the surprising world of seashells. I don't think I've spent that much time thinking about seashells in the past, to be honest.
Me neither.
I think they're beautiful. I liked to collect them when I was a young girl. I still have some in my apartment here that I keep. And I was cleaning out my apartment a couple months ago, and I thought maybe I should just get rid of some of these souvenirs that I have. I have a lot of souvenirs on my bookshelves. But I couldn't bear to throw away my seashell that I got in Cornwall by the ocean over there. It was so beautiful. Good memories, you know. A lot of people love to collect seashells, but they've also been used in history as currency, as some sort of money in trade across different continents, you could say. They've been used as something that could protect something else. Of course, they were originally protecting the animal inside them. And in Greek mythology, they were considered to be symbolic of love and beauty. So they've had a good run over history. They've meant a lot to a lot of different cultures. Today, we're going to focus in on something that I like, and that's fashion and technology, both. So let's get started.
Let's get started. So here in the first paragraph, it says, seashells continue to be popular in fashion and technology. So fashion, of course, refers to making yourself look good with the clothes that you wear and the accessories, which would include earrings, bracelets, necklaces, and things like that. And yes, indeed, you can find shells as a popular item in fashion and also in technology. Okay, so I guess in some way, shells help us use our machines or whatever. We'll talk about what that's all about in just a second. But certain types of seashells are particularly prized for their beauty and unique features. So I can imagine some kinds of shells are very difficult to find, and if you find one intact, if you find it in one piece, you might be able to sell it for a high price.
Yeah, you're right. Tom had mentioned in day one that it's difficult to find complete shells that are intact, meaning they're not broken apart in different pieces. If they've been on the beach for a while, a lot of people have stepped on them. Think about that. That will break a lot of these more delicate shells. Some of the shells are really tough, though. For example, the cowrie shells, they're kind of small. You can fit a couple of them onto the tips of your fingers. If you look this up, you'll see the picture I'm referring to. It's the first one that comes up in Google search. They have smooth, shiny surfaces and natural curves, and it makes them really good or suitable for turning into necklaces and bracelets. A necklace is a piece of jewelry that's worn around your neck, and then a bracelet is worn around your wrist.
Indeed, and I can imagine they would be used as earrings as well, and maybe some people have figured out how to use shells as piercings in their body, which would be kind of unusual, but maybe someone's thought of that, who knows? But again, these are examples of accessories, fashion accessories, necklaces, bracelets, things like that, even rings. Now, additionally, or moreover, also, mother of pearl, the colorful inner layer of certain mollusk shells, is widely used in jewelry and luxury items.
Yeah.
Now, I don't quite know what this is in Chinese. I didn't have time to look this up before the program, but this is mother of pearl. And, of course, it's kind of shiny. It looks like a shell, and they use it as a layer inside of something. They get it from inside certain mollusk shells, so they find it, and then they extract it, and then they use it in jewelry and also in luxury items. It kind of looks like a rainbow. It kind of reflects light in different ways. It's pretty cool.
It's really beautiful. I have a couple of pieces of jewelry that has the mother of pearl in it. So, yeah, that's what we call it, mother of pearl. And it is that inner layer of certain mollusk shells. It's not in all of them, guys. And it is used in jewelry and luxury items. Jewelry, remember, is used as a non-count and countable. Don't say I have a lot of jewelries. No, I have a lot of jewelry. And luxury items, it's not cheap. That's why it's sometimes put into luxury items. If it's luxury, it means it's very expensive and probably not used widely because it's really high quality. It costs more money. So you could stay, for example, in a luxury hotel, or you could talk about something being luxurious, but here luxury is being used as an adjective. Just means fancy, really high-end, deluxe, superior quality, things like that.
Like a Bentley or something, or a Rolls Royce, that would be a luxury car. And because of its beauty and strength, it can be carved into various forms and sizes. Okay, so again, this is mother of pearl, which I think is zhenjiumu in Chinese, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, because this substance is very strong, because of its strength. Strength is how strong something is. And also because of its beauty, well, people like it. They want to see it in jewelry. They can carve it using different kinds of tools. They dig into it. They form shapes and things like that. And then they can carve it into various forms and sizes. If you've been to Bangkok in Thailand at the Temple of the Reclining Buddha, the feet of the Buddha, the bottom of his feet have lots of mother of pearl in them.
Oh, I don't think I ever noticed that. Mother of pearl is beautiful. As Tom said, it kind of looks like this shimmering rainbow of colors. Typically, I think of mother of pearl being more pastel, the lighter colors, but it can be dark as well. Abalone shells are also sought after for decorative purposes. They're beautiful. Thanks to their beautiful mix of blue, green, and purple colors. If you look them up, you'll notice that they are quite lovely. Abalone is kind of a fancy schmancy, which isn't a real word, fancy schmancy type of seafood that I've only seen on cooking shows. If they get some abalone, or if abalone is a choice that the cooks can use, they always choose it because it's kind of cool and special. But their shells alone, forget what the animal it tastes like that's within the shell. The shell itself is really beautiful.
And because it's so beautiful, of course, people collect it, they buy it, and they use it as a decorative item. Maybe they put it on their shelf or they carve it in a certain way. Of course, it has a mix of those different colors, blue, green, and purple. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to go find one myself, or at least go see one. I wonder if there's a seashell museum here in Taiwan, because, of course, Taiwan is right next to the ocean. So, of course, people have probably found lots of interesting shells over the years.
I bet.
Well, here in the next paragraph, it says, discarded seashells have also found new life through eco-friendly innovations. So if something's discarded or discarded, that means people have thrown it away. And if you go to the beach, you'll see lots of broken seashells. Nobody wants those. They're just going to sit there. But some people might think, well, you know, they don't look so great as jewelry or something, but we could use them for other purposes. They can be used in eco-friendly innovations.
Yeah.
An innovation is like something that's been invented. It's a new discovery, for example. And if it's eco-friendly, it's good for the environment. So they figured out a way to use these discarded or thrown away seashells and give them a new purpose, like grinding them up for certain kinds of purposes.
Yeah, I remember doing an ad for a company a couple years ago. It was a really cool company in Taiwan that made shoes that were made out of seashells. Seashells and plastic bottles, both. But the seashells, I thought, oh my gosh, I've never heard of that before. But it's becoming more and more popular. This was a while ago. It was the first company I'd heard of. They made athletic shoes. And I just thought, wow, that's nice to use something that normally would be thrown out, or as we say, discarded, just thrown away, something that people aren't going to use. They were very eco-friendly. They used materials that were already in existence. They didn't have to produce new things. They could use things that already existed. So here's an example of a fabric or cloth. It's called sea wool. And I haven't actually seen any of this with my real eyes here, but it's a fabric made from crushed oyster shells and recycled plastic bottles. It's similar to the company that was making the athletic shoes that I did an ad for. Fabric is a type of material. It could be woven. It could just be some kind of cloth. It could be man-made like polyester, or it could be natural. Cottons are woven fabrics. They take threads from the natural cotton plant and they weave them together. That's a fabric. You can use fabric with an S, fabrics, but they have to be very different types of fabric that you're talking about in a plural form. Just because you have a large piece of cloth, don't say I have a lot of fabrics. That is incorrect. Fabric is one type of cloth, one piece of cloth.
Yeah, there's a market on Dihua Street here in Taipei that sells lots of different kinds of fabrics.
Yes.
You can go there and get some and then make your own clothes or whatever.
But you could also just say a store that sells a lot of fabric. That's correct as well, guys.
Right. And, of course, we've got lots of terms for this stuff that we use to make clothes. We've got cloth. We've got fabric. We've got material. My mother used the word material a lot.
So did mine.
And then also we've got textiles, which is kind of the industrial term.
It's professional.
Yeah, if you talk about having a company that makes those things, you say you work in textiles.
Yeah.
But here we're talking about fabric, a kind of cloth that is used to make clothing or shoes or whatever. And again, it's a mixture of crushed oyster shells and recycled plastic bottles. So that's a good way to put these materials to use, to crush them and to use them in different purposes. And we'll talk some more about the many uses of seashells in just a couple of seconds. But let's take a break and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello everyone, 我是 Patrick. 今天讲解的是暑期 Unit2 Beyond the Beach, The Surprising World of Seashells 第二天的课文内容。好，那我们这个单元介绍的是贝壳。在课文第一段段落快结束的时候，作者就说明了贝壳不只是美观，可以拿来当装饰，也在人类文明发展进程当中有重要的角色。在第二天课文内容进一步的说明，现代生活中贝壳依然可以发挥美学价值，营造时尚感，甚至于在和尖端科技结合之后，那人类利用自己的巧思，让贝壳可以做成安全帽或者呢衣物的布料。好，我们一起来看学习重点，请同学看到第一段。第一段呢，这个算是主题句哦，因为呢，作者就是要特别说明 贝壳在时尚还有科技这方面到底是如何受到大家的青睐的。好，那我们就看到第二个句子就讲到有一些这些贝壳它是特别的受到珍视，那大家特别觉得说这些贝壳非常的重要，为什么呢？最主要是因为它们很漂亮 for their beauty and unique features， 而且呢它们还有一些特殊的特征。好，那接下来当然就是作者举例来说啦，第一个当然就是 cowrie shells。 好，那我们请同学先注意一下，这边有没有看到在 shells 后面有一个逗点，然后在 are 前面又有一个逗点，那这一样是附带说明的，就是让我们知道说这个 cowrie shells 它怎么样，带有什么样的特质，所以呢就是它们是表面非常的光滑很闪亮的。好 are often made into 到了这里呢才算是主要子句，这个 be 动词 are often made into 这样子 cowrie shells 呢它常常做成什么？做成项链，还有呢手镯。好，接下来那我们再来看一下，请同学看第6个句子 abalone shells， 又另外再拿另外一种贝类来当例子 abalone shells 鲍鱼贝 are also sought after。 好，这里呢用的是被动语态，那当然呢指的也是说这一类的贝壳很受到欢迎。好，那接下来请同学呢看到第2段第1个句子 discarded seashells， 这个 discarded 这里是过去分词当形容词用，这一些可以说是被丢弃废弃的贝壳，那 have found new life through eco-friendly innovations。 请注意这里一样是这个段落的主题句，所以我们知道接下来这一段作者想介绍的就是科技如何利用这一些废弃的贝壳，那让它们呢有新的用途 found new life。 那当然啦，我们知道说贝壳基本上它没有生命，那所谓的 found new life 是一种比喻的说法，就等于呢是在我们人类的生活当中它还有用途。下面就是一个例子 sea wool 就是海毛纱。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're on day 2 of our history unit, and we're focused on the surprising world of seashells, how amazing they are, and how they've been used over time and in different cultures, because everyone has a different purpose and culture. And we're focusing more today on how they're being used in fashion and technology, especially in jewelry. We first talked about the cowrie shells that are being turned into beautiful necklaces and bracelets. They're kind of small shells, and it's easier to link them together or put them together and turn them into beautiful jewelry. There's also mother of pearl. That's the inner layer of certain shells, and it's lovely. The coloring of mother of pearl is just shockingly beautiful, especially when you think this is natural. Nature made this. It's amazing. And that's being used in lots of jewelry. It's not cheap, though. So you'll find them, the use of mother of pearl in luxury items rather than things that are cheap and sold in the night market. And then there's abalone shells. They're sought after because they're used for decorative purposes. They have a beautiful mixture of colors like blue, green, and purple. And then we moved on and talked about discarded seashells that nobody wants. Maybe they're broken. They're little pieces of what once was a beautiful shell. But they found new life because they have a different purpose now. They're being used in eco-friendly innovations or inventions, which is kind of cool. I talked about how there's a company in Taiwan making athletic shoes out of broken seashells and plastic bottles. There's also sea wool. It's a new fabric that they've made from crushed oyster shells and, again, recycled plastic bottles. And it offers a soft and breathable alternative to traditional textiles. We talked about how fabric can be countable and non-count both. Tom and I grew up in an age when people would usually say a fabric, and that was plural to us as well. You can still do that, but you can also say fabrics if it's different kinds of material that you're speaking of. When you use the word textiles, though, it's more of a professional term that you use if you're in the textile industry. I had an old roommate who worked for designer firms, so they produce designer clothing, and she would go and visit textile factories where they actually wove materials together, and she would use the word textiles. I don't. I use fabric or cloth or material to talk about fabric.
Something you use to make clothes out of. And in this particular case, this is artificial fabric, I guess. Well, part artificial, part natural, because it's a mixture of crushed oyster shells and recycled plastic bottles. And we're describing this as a breathable alternative to traditional cloth or textiles. Now, here the term breathable just means that air can circulate into the cloth and get to your skin, and you feel cooler in the summer, and your sweat is more easily evaporated through the cloth. And, of course, natural fibers tend to be more breathable than artificial ones. And yes, indeed, this is a breathable alternative to various kinds of textiles, and it's ideal for clothing. So some people would like to wear this particular cloth or this particular fabric as a way to keep cool in the summer.
Yeah, I looked this up. It's interesting. It is being praised for being more breathable, but not more breathable than the natural fibers like cotton or linen. Linen's popular in the summer. It's that fabric that wrinkles a lot.
Hemp, too.
Yeah, hemp is breathable. I hate that it wrinkles, but it is cooler. It moisture wicks, so it pulls sweat away from your skin. It's odor resistant, which might be nice for the men out there who sweat more. And it regulates your temperature. So it keeps you warm on warm days or on cool days and cool on the warm days. So that's why people are saying that they like it better than just some of the straight man-made fabrics out there, because it's got a little bit of that crushed oyster shells in there. So yeah, it makes it a more breathable alternative to traditional textiles, making it ideal for clothing. I like that it is odor hiding. It reduces odor. Those smells we get when we sweat aren't very pleasant. So another creative invention from Japan is called the Shellmet. It's a durable helmet. What you wear on your head, it's made from scallop shells, scallop or scallop. It's pronounced either way. And recycled plastic. Again, we have so much plastic we've got to get rid of these days. Scallops are little white round circles that are very popular as seafood. I don't think they taste like much. They're kind of tasteless to me, but I cook them in butter. They're good for you. You can lose some weight if you just eat scallops, I know. And they're very popular if you watch cooking shows where they use, again, a lot of seafood.
Yeah, scallop, I think, is pronounced as haishan in Chinese.
Oh.
And, of course, they use the shells from these particular creatures. And they also use recycled plastic, and then you can wear this helmet and protect your head when you when you participate in an auto race or something, or when you're riding your motorcycle. And it provides fishing workers with protection while addressing waste problems caused by the local seafood industry. Okay, so I guess people who ride motorcycles aren't using this helmet. We've got fishers, or people who work in the fishing industry. They wear these helmets to protect themselves. And then, of course, it addresses waste problems caused by the local seafood industry. To address something just means to deal with a problem. They've got waste problems. I guess when you produce seafood, you produce a lot of waste. And this way, you can use those scallop shells in a certain way along with recycled plastic. And so you don't have these things going into the environment.
Did we talk about alternative? It's one of our vocabulary words.
Oh, that's back there.
Yeah, alternative is a noun. It just means a different choice or a different option that you might have. I bet a lot of our listeners know what that means already, but I wanted to make sure we covered that. So the shell, as Tom said, can help provide or protect the fishing workers with protection, and it's using a lot of that nasty recycled plastic that we've been stuck with. Because, wow, we use plastic forever for so many different items. We're so used to it. But it doesn't disintegrate very easily, and we're stuck with it. These innovations or new inventions reuse tons of waste from seafood processing and turn them into sustainable solutions. If something's sustainable, It means it's done or made in a way that doesn't cause more harm to the planet and can last a long time. We're definitely looking more for sustainable ways of living.
Okay, here in the final paragraph it says, seashells represent both natural beauty and cultural heritage for humanity. Heritage just refers to things that people pass from one generation to the next. Of course, we're talking about jewelry and things that are made from seashells and how they're used in traditional ceremonies or whatever. As we continue to explore the potential of seashells, it's essential to strike a balance between use and preservation. So yeah, we've got to figure out a way to use them, but we also need to use them in a way that protects the environment. So yeah, we need to strike a balance. We need to find the part in the middle that benefits both sides.
Yeah, we really do. We're continuing to explore the potential of seashells, and it's essential to strike that balance, as Tom said. You know, how do we use them and how do we also preserve them at the same time? Collecting empty seashells from beaches might seem harmless. That's me. I just think, I might as well gather it up.
There are thousands there. What difference is it going to make?
It says here, however, here's the downside of that. Excessive harvesting and environmental pollution pose serious threats to their ecosystems. Excessive means way beyond what is necessary or needed. If someone is shopping excessively, they're shopping way too much than what they should be. If something's excessive, again, it's just done to an extreme degree. So you want to be careful of that.
Some people on Friday night might be guilty of excessive drinking.
Ooh.
So if you do that, try not to drive. Well, not try not to drive. Don't drive. It's a bad idea. But here we're talking about excessive harvesting and environmental pollution. So we don't want too many of those things. And these things will threaten the ecosystems and will be all affected as a result. Therefore, we must take action to protect these marine creatures to ensure the sustainability and the use of seashell resources. Okay, so indeed, we need to protect the living beings inside those shells, but once they die of natural causes, then we can figure out what to do with their shells.
And I think that more smart people out there are going to come up with more uses for these beautiful seashells. Let's hope so.
Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Here comes our Chinese teacher.
那我们接着第二段的第三个句子，承接上面所说的。第二段最主要在说明科技如何运用这些被丢弃、废弃的贝壳，让它们在人类的生活中有新的用途。我们看到第三个句子，这个 it 所代替的就是前面的这个海毛纱 offers a soft and breathable alternative to traditional textiles。那请同学注意到这里所讲的海毛纱柔软又透气 breathable， 那就是我们讲的透气。要请同学特别注意的是 alternative to 的用法，我们说什么什么的替代方案，什么的替代选择。好，那请注意哦，介系词是用 to。好，传统布料、传统纺织品的替代方案，虽然我们中文说的，可是呢，英文 alternative to， 请同学特别注意。再来呢，请同学看到第四个句子，作者另外举了个例子，就是 shellmet 到底是什么？请同学看到在 shellmet 后面有个逗点，对吧？这就是同位语，让我们进一步的了解 shellmet 它其实呢是一个耐用的安全帽 a durable helmet。那用什么做的？原来呢是用 scallop shells 用扇贝壳，还有呢回收的这些塑胶所做成的。好，那我们看到第五个句子，蛮重要的。上面所说的这项创新，也就是 shellmet， 它有两项的效果，同学看出来了吗？第一个呢，就是 it provides fishing workers with protection。怎么说呢？因为它是安全帽嘛 ，it's a helmet。那后面 while 这个，请同学特别注意，这是副词子句的省略。那因为呢主词一样，所以呢主词省略掉，但后面的这个动词要加上 ing。 好，所以它同时也解决了废弃物的问题。我们说解决什么问题？ address a problem。 那 addressing waste problems 就是解决了废弃物的问题。那再来，我们要请同学看到第三段， 记得老师在讲解第一天课文内容的时候已经说过，现在108课纲里面特别注重的是同学是否对于整个篇章有完整的了解。好，那我们看一下这篇作者的写作方式。其实第3段非常的好，怎么说呢？它呼应了我们第一天课文内容，在第一段有没有讲到 However, they are more than just pretty souvenirs 这边。好 Throughout history, seashells have served numerous purposes in human cultures worldwide, from practical tools to spiritual symbols. 好，那为什么老师要特别指出这一点呢？请注意，这里在第2天课文内容第3段，也就是最后一段这边，那这里等于是呼应了第一天第一段开头，这就叫做前后呼应，前后连贯，会让读者呢觉得作者的立场是一致的。好，那请同学呢特别注意到这一点，运用在自己的写作上。好，以上就是老师针对第2天课文内容所做的中文讲解。See you next time.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We hope you learned a lot about seashells just like we did. It's kind of fun. I'm going to look at these seashells with more appreciation in the future. They're not just beautiful. They're very productive. They've had long lives, and people use them in different ways that are very useful in different cultures. We hope you'll join us for our next program. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom. Goodbye.